Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah. I'm a yoga instructor and a cat mom, and today I'm going to be walking you through one of my favorite rainy day flows or my favorite sick day flows. Honestly, it's my favorite flow for whenever I just want to stay grounded on the floor and just stick on my mat and not get up and stand and move through this kind of quick, fast-paced yoga flow. And I do want to start by apologizing for possibly the quality of this video. It is actually a rainy day here where I live while I've recorded this video. So hopefully it doesn't interfere with the quality of the video too much, but I do want to just go ahead and touch on that for a second. But anyways, if you're ready to get cozy and get grounded on your mat, go ahead, put something comfy on, grab your glass of tea, and then meet me in a child's pose on your mat. So coming to our mat in child's pose, we'll start by coming on tops of the shins, and you can tuck or untuck the toes depending on how high or low your hips are going to allow you to move. So coming on top of the shins, on top of the toes, if that is your preference, and the knees can be wide or they can be together, or maybe somewhere in between, somewhere that's comfortable for you. And just rock side to side as you start to lower all the way down, walking the hands out long across your mat. Starting to lower your chest to your thighs, or maybe to the mat if your knees are wide, forehead down onto the mat. Seeing if you can kind of tuck your chin into chest. So you're wanting to place as little or no weight possible into the bridge of your nose. And just start by taking a couple deep inhales and exhales. Maybe just rocking side to side. Kind of massaging your forehead against the mat. Just allowing your body to gently release into every inhale and every exhale. Maybe even seeing if you can feel your inhale move all the way down your spine. And then as you exhale, sending out a deep sigh, letting whatever you brought onto your mat today, letting it go, and just allowing yourself to surrender to your mat, to give everything to your mat and just be one with your breath. Allowing yourself to simply be exactly where you are today. As you breathe, deep inhales and deep exhales. And we'll just rise up slightly. Just lifting our forehead and kind of just looking towards the front of the mat as we start to slide our right hand back and then thread it in between your left arm and left leg, lowering down onto that right shoulder and right temple. Coming into a nice gentle twist, and you can turn your palm up, or you can keep that right palm facing the ground if you want to be a little bit more grounded. And then just come back to your breath. Noticing every inhale and every exhale. Just notice where you're feeling this. Are you feeling it in your back? Maybe you're feeling it deep in your hips. Wherever you're feeling it, send your breath to that place. Allow your breath to move into the space of your body and to allow that space to surrender. Allow your breath to be filled with relaxing thoughts, relaxing energy. Taking one more big inhale. And as as you exhale, start to lift that right temple and shoulder off the mat, looking back to the center of your mat, and just slowly unweaving your twist. And just reach the right hand out to the right for a moment. Maybe even look over and gaze at those fingertips. And then bring that right hand back to center. Maybe rise up and shake the hips left to right. Maybe widen or shorten your stance as you lower the hips back down to the heels. Threading the left arm in between the right arm and that right knee. Lowering down onto the left shoulder and the left temple. And then just surrendering. So allowing yourself to relax deep into your mat. Feeling yourself surrender with every inhale and every exhale. And maybe you notice something different about this side compared to the other side. Are you feeling it somewhere different? Are you feeling it in a different way? Notice the difference. Honor the natural differences in your left and right sides. And then surrender deeper into your mat. Give in to everything you're feeling. Taking one final big inhale. And then exhale, send out a deep sigh. As you start to sink in the weight into that right arm, lifting the left temple and the left shoulder off the mat, slowly reaching that left hand out to the left. Maybe even looking over to the left at those left fingertips, letting the shoulder gently release and then bringing the arm back to center. So we inhale, rise into a tabletop and just rock the hips side to side. And then we're going to sit down on the knees. We're not going to be here long. So you can keep the knees wide or you can keep them close together, and then you'll just sink the hips down to the heels as you rise the shoulders in line with the hips. So again, we're not going to be here long, so don't get scared. Maybe give your knees some love, or even go and pause the video, grab a pillow, and place it under your knees. And when you're ready, we'll inhale, reach up. Exhale, start to bring the hands in line with the shoulders. So bring them down in front of you and push your spine back as you pull chin to chest. Kind of like a cat, a seated cat. And then inhale, we'll move into a seated cow. So bring the arms directly over the shoulders. Inhale, see if you can reach them behind you as you pull the heart forward. We're gonna do that 2 more times. So exhale, we move into our seated cat. We reach the hands to the wall in front of us and we send the spine back. As we pull chin to chest on our exhale. Inhale, we pull shoulders back under arms reaching behind us, heart pulling forward, maybe even looking forward or up if it feels good on the neck. One last time, exhale, seated cat. Inhale, seated cow. Take a big inhale as you bring hands back over shoulders, reach the fingertips up, and then exhale, bring the arms down to the mat and slowly start to rise up into a tabletop. Shoulders directly over wrists, knees directly over, or knees directly under hips. So shoulders are in line with wrists, hips are in line with knees. We're gonna move into a puppy pose. So you're gonna walk the knees back a little bit. So about 1 knee print, and then go ahead and walk them back a 2nd knee print. So 2 knee spaces, and then pop your hips up. Send your hips to the ceiling. Find this little curl in your spine, and maybe walk the hands forward 1 hand print. And then start to send the hips directly over the knees. Bring the chest down to the mat. Or maybe you bring the forehead down to the mat. The chest never has to touch the mat. As long as you're feeling this stretch in your shoulders, you're doing this properly. So the knees are directly under the hips still, but the shoulders are behind the wrists. The hands are reaching forward, and you can engage your core here if that helps this pose. Or you can continue to take those deep inhales and deep exhales, allowing yourself to completely surrender to this pose. To completely surrender into your mat. And see where your breath moves. Or actually see if you can move your breath into your chest. And as you inhale, expand your rib cage. So feel your breath deepen so deep that you feel your chest and your rib cage expand towards the floor and the ceiling and out to the left and right, finding all of this space in your body. And then exhale, surrender to that space. Give in to all the space you just created. And then on your next inhale, lift the forehead and look forward as you start to sink the weight into your elbows. Slowly starting to bend the arms. So the shoulders are going to start to move over the elbows. You're going to lower your hips all the way down to your mat. Maybe wiggle the elbows forward a little bit so shoulders and elbows are in line. Take a moment, kind of rock side to side, and then on your next inhale, lift your head. Push into your arms. Feel yourself lift away from your mat. And then exhale, see if you can pull your heart through your arms, kind of energetically pulling your hands back to your hips. Inhale, you rise. You feel like an imaginary string is lifting your head. And then exhale, a second imaginary string is pulling you forward here in our Sphinx pose. Inhale, rise. Exhale, move the chest forward. Notice that engagement of kind of rooting yourself down into the mat and rising with your breath. 2 more breaths here. And then on your next exhale, start to lower your chest down to your mat. Take your hands wide. Come onto your fingertips. So the hands are going to be beyond mat's edge. Past shoulders, past elbows, as wide as comfortable. Root down through all 10 toenails. So toes aren't tucked, but the toenails are touching the mat. And on an inhale, you'll lift chest, shoulders, neck, and head. Exhale, fold. You can stay there, or maybe this time lift chest, shoulders, belly, neck, and head. Coming into a wide cobra, and then exhale, fold. If that was uncomfortable for your lower spine, you can widen the legs. And we'll move the hands in a couple, a little closer to the shoulders. Inhale, lift chest, shoulders, belly, neck, and head. Maybe even look up. Exhale, fold. Hands come under the shoulders. You can still be on fingertips, or you can bring palms to the mat. Elbows pull into rib cage. Inhale, lift chest, shoulders, belly, neck, and head. Look up. Exhale, fold. Push up onto hands and knees. Rise all the way up into our tabletop. And then we're going to move into a hip opener. So we're going to move into frog pose. So we're going to walk the knees as wide as we can take them. So once you get the knees as wide as you can, notice your hips. Maybe you notice that you're already tightening in the hips. If so, remember that surrendering feeling. Remember that feeling of breathing our breath into our hips. So what I mean by that is we're simply thinking about our hips while we take our inhale. And you can stay here with feet kind of in together, or you can kind of try to align your ankles in line with the knees. Again, just making this however it is comfortable for you. Whether your knees are close or your knees are as wide as possible, go ahead and do so. Maybe align the ankles if that is your jam today, and then lower down onto your forearms. Or of course, you can always stay up on your hands and then just feel your hips kind of sink into the mat. Don't rock them back, but think about keeping them sinking directly down. One line from the center of your hips down to the mat. Maybe even imagine a weight pulling your hips ever so gently, deeper and deeper into the mat. This is a very intense hip pose, so breathe deep. Remember that expanding feeling. Expand your hips in all 4 directions on your inhale, and as you exhale, sink your hips deeper. Allow your hips to move into all of that expansion you found on your inhale. Sorry, my cat is on my recording, on my microphone. We'll just take a couple more breaths here. Inhaling big and exhale, sending it out. And then if you're on your forearms, go ahead and rise back up onto your hands. Slowly start to lift your hips. Maybe you even lift the knees and you walk the knees in. We're gonna come back to that knee stand. So we are gonna be here a little bit longer than we were the first time. So if you wish to sink into an easy seat, you can do so. Actually, let's stay with our knees bent just for a moment, and we're gonna move into a toe stand. So before moving into your easy seat, go ahead and come back onto your knees. Bring the hands forward, lift the hips away from the ankles so you can tuck the toes. And look behind you and see if you can tuck the toes so much that you get that pinky toe to tuck. And then sink the hips to the heels. Start to walk the hands back. Rise up. And then just kind of rock your right shoulder to your right ear. Or your right ear to your right shoulder. And then inhale, lift your shoulders to your ears. Maybe even see if you can get that right shoulder to touch the ear. Exhale, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, sink them down, but keep that right shoulder moving to that right ear. And then inhale, reach that left hand up. Exhale, reach it out to the left. Feel that stretch from left ear all the way down into that right shoulder. And slowly lower that hand back onto your lap or just down to your side. Inhale, bring your head back to center. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Feel that slight stretch in the right neck, and then inhale, ears to shoulders. Maybe even get that left ear to touch the left shoulder. Exhale, shoulders roll back and down. Inhale, we lift the right hand. Exhale, slowly just tracing the line of that wall to the right. Really feeling that stretch from right ear all the way down into that right shoulder. Breathing as your hand comes back to your hip, maybe back into your lap, and then just inhale, center. Just do some neck rolls or look to the left and the right. Maybe you're starting to feel your toes. Take one more breath here, and then exhale, walk the hands forward. Curl the toes under, take a big stretch. Feel that release of the toes, and then lower hips to heels. Walk the hands back and rise the chest up, coming into our shin stand or shin seat. Or of course you can come to that easy seat by lowering down on to your one hip or the other and then just swinging the legs forward and crossing the ankles. And if you're in your easy seat, go ahead and just rock from side to side and find your sitting bones. So those are 2 hard bones under your glute muscles. So wherever you are, whether you're in easy seat or in your shin seat, take an inhale and reach up. Look up and offer something up. And then exhale, bring that right hand to the mat. Inhale, reach for the ceiling with that left hand, and then exhale, dive off to the right. So if you're in your easy seat, keep both sitting bones on the ground. If you're in your shin stand, see if you can keep the same amount of weight in your right shin as you are in your left shin. And then wherever you are, slightly bend that right elbow. Maybe you even wiggle the fingers out a little bit away from the body. And then inhale, reach to the left. Exhale, sink. Maybe even look up to that left hand, and we'll take 2 more breaths. 1 big inhale, big exhale. And then 1 more time, fill yourself up. Exhale, slowly rise all the way up. Inhale, reach up. Offer something up, and then exhale, left hand finds the mat. Take a moment and just feel the blood kind of rush back into that hand, and then inhale, reach the right hand up. Exhale, dive off to the left, feeling free to walk the left hand out, but keeping a slight little gentle bend in that elbow as you do so, keeping the weight even between your shins or your sitting bones, and then inhale, reach to the left with the right hand. Exhale, bend even more into that left elbow as you dive off to the left. Maybe looking up to that right arm if it feels good on the neck. Inhale, reach. Exhale, sink. 1 more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, rise it all the way up. Reach up, stretch up, and then exhale, bring your hands to your lap. Maybe take 1 hand to your heart and 1 hand to your belly. Maybe take your hands to Samasthiti, hands at heart center, or just placing them in your lap. Wherever you are, roll your shoulders up. Exhale, roll them back and down, sitting nice and tall, stacking shoulders directly over hips and head directly over shoulders. And just breathe. Come back to your breath. And notice something different. Notice something different about your breath. Maybe something different about your body. And then just thank yourself. Thank yourself for allowing you to move today, to go through these simple this simple mat flow. Thank yourself for taking you exactly where it took you today. And then just breathe. Notice everything that there is to notice about your breath. All the way from how the breath moves through the nostrils, all the way deep into the stomach, and then back out the nostrils, maybe even out your lips. And then we bring our hands to heart center. We tuck our chin as we bow our head in gratitude. Gratitude for ourselves. We bring our hand to our forehead to allow for love to always fill our thoughts. We bring hands to lips to allow love to always be in our communications. And then we bring hands to heart center to allow for love to always be with us as we step off our mats and go into the world. Namaste. Thank you all so much for moving and flowing with me in this gentle, kind of meditative-based yoga class that we just went through. I really hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, As always, you can leave them down in the comment section below and I will get to them as soon as I see them. And the same thing goes if you just want to talk or maybe tell me what your favorite part of today's class was, or if you enjoyed this flow and you want to let me know, the best way to do so is by hitting that big thumbs up button. That's the best way to let me know that you really enjoyed this flow and that you want to see more content like this. And of course, as always, if you aren't already subscribed, while you're down in the comment section, go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for flowing with me today, and I really hope you enjoyed. Namaste.